To kind of summarize this project, I asked a few different members of the community who are important to me to answer some specific questions about the community. So that's what you're about to hear. And during it, I will be drawing some images of some native plants on my site. So I hope you enjoy.
Community to me means creating a place where every individual has a seat at the table, whether that's going to be insects or fauna or humans, which is what everyone normally thinks of. Everyone comes with their own cultures or backgrounds, and that makes them uniquely them. And then simultaneously being able to put those differences to the side for the greater good.
I see community as just like a place for people to go if they do not have those things where they come from.
A lot of times we're born into community, right? So maybe nationalities or backgrounds, religions, different ways that some of those communities have already been pre-sorted for us and pre-selected.
Community is being involved in a group of people that shares a common goal, interest, or overall higher value that unifies people.
To me, community is about showing up for the people around you. It's about being there for others without expecting anything in return and being able to have hard conversations together.
To me, community means either a group of people that are working towards a common goal or a group of people that have something in common or something that they are passionate about together. A community that I identify myself with would be probably most recently the alumni from the Ball State Theater and Dance Department as I graduated last May.
Since moving to Muncie, I've joined the church choir, which is something I haven't sung in an organized choir since 8th grade, and maybe it was too traumatic in 8th grade, I don't know, but I gave it up for a long time and then just decided to rejoin. And so that's been a new outlet for me, a new form of community, and that's been rewarding in some different ways as well.
I identify with the Black community, the LGBTQ plus community. I identify with the theater community, the art community, the writing community, most recently the Dungeons and Dragons community. I identify with my community of friends.
And then the second community I would say I identify with is my church community. I would say that the greater thing that unifies everyone at my church is our belief in our faith.
So one community that I really identify with here at Ball State is my landscape architecture community. Having people with shared values of stewardship, sustainability, community connections. One of the many ways that we're able to practice this is by volunteering. And so me and my friends go and volunteer at local businesses to educate community members about native plants and invasive species. So that's been really fun, and I've loved to identify with my fellow landscape architecture community here.
A community that I'm part of is the Minnetrista community. I practice this by going to events at Minnetrista, enjoying the gardens and going on walks there, and spending time with some of the people that I met while working there.
I would say the biggest community I am a part of, though, is the Black community, just because that is me. That is the first thing people see when they look at me, and that's the first community I look for. Going to new schools and in new environments is looking for that Black community to feel safe and have that sense of belonging.
One of the ways that I try to engage in this community is that I do try and engage with other alumni, but also specifically with current students, reaching out, giving them, my contacts and just saying, hey, if there's anything that I can do for you or any advice that I can give, please let me know. I really like doing this because it feels in a way that I am kind of helping the current students.
Okay, so this is a little sidebar. A guy just drove by and he said that if I made a hopscotch, he would come over and play it, and he comes from a big family, and he said he would bring his family over here to do it. So little pivot, but I'm going to make a flower-themed hopscotch for him.
I think one of the most important things we can do to improve our connection with others is to be brave about meeting new people and to not be afraid of being a little bit weird. I think some of the best conversations you can have are the ones that you didn't expect to have.
I think something that we can do to improve our connection with others is to get out into the communities that we would identify ourselves as part of, and really try and get active in them, whether or not that be like joining a recreational sport or some sort of like club, maybe picking up trash at the park or something, because not only can it improve our connection with like the community that we live in, but also our connection with others, especially like if we're passionate about similar things, you can find friends that way, and also just like improve the world around you.
I think that also improves our connection. I think there's a tendency, especially in American culture, to isolate ourselves. And so I would say that you can improve your connection with others by just being vulnerable, but also by being a listener as well, and trying to understand other people and where they come from and who they are, and being slower to speak and quicker to listen, which sometimes for me is not easy because I am a talker. But I think just listening to people and understanding people, being vulnerable and pursuing them is a way that we can better connect with others.
Just simply by like talking and reaching out, and it'll also help us find those communities of people. So many times have I talked to people that are like, I don't know where to go with this or go for this, and it's just like, just talk to people, find people of similar interests and similar values and morals and things like that. I think would greatly help improve a lot of miscommunications and will help improve other connections that we make, not only with people within those communities, but also people outside of those communities.
Implicit in that question is, how can we help build community? I think we can do that by really trying to pay attention to other people. And it sounds obvious, but I think there are ways that we can get into our own headspace and kind of look inward as opposed to outward. It's like, hey, I see you. I appreciate what you're doing to make my life a little bit better, and I appreciate that.
I think that in order to improve our connections with others, that we have to have empathy. That's, essential. And being able to understand that what people are going through and how it affects them is really, really important. And I think by doing this and just having empathy and extending that arm to people, that we're able to build like these familial relationships that will last a lifetime. I think empathy is really essential to connection with people. The community of Muncie means everything to me, and I feel like I'm such a different person than who I was when I first arrived, by far. And I think that's mostly because of the positive experiences that I've gained through not only the people like my landscape architecture friends, but also through programs and volunteering with locals, to having like canning classes with my best friends. Those are the opportunities that I think I've been able to gain to grow individually and then as a collective, like in Muncie, in the Muncie community. And those experiences have been nothing short of incredible.
So as someone that has grown up in Muncie my whole life, I know a lot of people come here and kind of see from the surface level, they don't always see the good in Muncie, but I tend to always see the good and see how it can be improved and loved. And I see Muncie for the people that live here, not just the things we have, whether they're broken down, worn down, or brand new. I see the community of Muncie as the people that live here, and just wanting to make it improve the place that we live because we love the people and not just the place.
Muncie people are kind. They're nice to each other. And sure, there are outliers. There are always instances of people not being so nice. But by and large, I think people are generally nice to each other. One of the things that this community does well is kind of reinvent itself and pick itself up and look out for each other and try to help.
Working at Minnetrista showed me that the community of Muncie is a very powerful thing. Once you're able to step off of Ball State's campus, you get to witness a whole new side of Muncie. Some of the most influential people during my time at Ball State have been the people that I've met outside of the university.
And it's something that I owe a lot to, just because I feel like I came to Muncie not knowing who I was and also with a lot of struggle. And I think that through Ball State, but also through the community, like the local community of Muncie, I think that I got to grow into myself a lot by doing a lot of community events with or without Ball State.
Being in Muncie, I have created my own sense of found family, and a found family that I haven't had before. This small town, it has its way of bringing people together in the most mysterious ways. There are so many people that I never would have thought that I would ever cross paths with or talk to or be around or hang out with, that just simply being here has brought me to those people and has brought me the connections that I have now. But I will say that it has helped me create a found family that I will love and cherish for the rest of my life.